Did you know that colic affects 1 in 4 newborn babies? It's nothing new. And if you're a parent of a colicky baby, you've probably been told a dozen times, don't worry, they'll grow out of it. But what if that well meaning advice, trying to help comfort you, is actually preventing you from helping your child get the care that they need? You see, if your child is constantly arching their back, if they're not sleeping at night, if they're crying around the clock, if they have a lot of reflux, and you can just tell they're never comfortable in their body, while yes, they might outgrow that colic, what is it turn into next? And that's what I want to dive into in this video because we see so often a parent wanting to do the best for their child. And if their child's colicky, often their mama gut or their daddy gut tells them something else is going on. And maybe you've tried probiotics and gas drops and different burping positions and sleeping positions, and nothing's making a difference. And you can tell your child is uncomfortable, but you don't know what to do next. So, in this video, we're going to dive into the nervous system component of colic because this is what I see over and over again as the most overlooked piece of what's really going on with your child. I remember when my son was first born, he had a tough labor and delivery, and I was holding him just a couple days old, and he was arching and he was crying and he was fussy. And I had this flash come into my mind of all these kids we've worked with in our office over the years. And I thought for a moment, wow, if his nervous system stays stuck in this stress mode, he's going to be that ADHD kiddo. He's going to be running around, not sitting still. He's not going to be able to focus and concentrate. He's going to be stressed and tense throughout his life. And while this doesn't mean that colic turns into ADHD, what we do see is that a stress nervous system early on in life often leads to other stress things later in life. And this is why we love helping parents early on. Take baby Isla, for example. She came in to see us at 3 months old because she was stiff as a board. Mom would hold her, and instead of relaxing on mom's shoulder, she was arched backwards, tense as can be. If mom put her on her belly, she had her arms straight, her legs straight, and barely moved from side to side because she was so rigid. She also was fussy and refluxy, and you could tell just not comfortable in her body. Fast forward just a couple weeks into care, and I was checking her on the table, and I was moving her, and suddenly I was noticing her body would just flow and turn, and it was soft and smooth the way it was supposed to be. Mom said that even after her first adjustment in our office, she started snuggling into mom's shoulder instead of arching backward. And the amazing thing with this is not only can now mom and dad enjoy their daughter that much more, but we know that her nervous system is coming out of this stuck in stress mode, and it's going to set her up for success down the road. Because you see what happens is a nervous system that's stressed early on, maybe it's from a stressful labor and delivery, maybe it was a stressful conception, or being in an environment that has a lot of tension. If a nervous system stuck in stress early on, at first it might show up as colic, but what happens as a baby starts to grow and develop? In baby Isla's case, she would look to the left easily, but not to the right, so she couldn't nurse well on one side. Now, as she gets a little bit older, guess what's going to happen when she tries to roll? She's going to roll the way she can look, as opposed to the other way, so milestones start to become affected. Stress stuck on leads to challenges with digestion, so constipation becomes a common thing. We know stress weakens the immune system. So we see a toddler now that is maybe struggling with a lot of ear infections or strep throat, maybe chronically sick and congested. As we fast forward a little bit older, kiddo might deal with sensory issues because their nervous system never had a chance to integrate and connect well with the world. I mentioned with my son, like feeling that tension that he's not going to want to sit still if this tension's in his body. So we see kids that can't focus at school or are anxious and nervous around the clock. So often when we talk to grade schooler or a teenager, we always go back in the birth history and mom and dad say, yeah, you know what? I felt like they were stressed as a newborn. So that's why we love helping out early on. What we do to look for this stress in our office are a set of neurological scans. So I'm going to bring those up here. The scans that we use are actually a thermal scan. This was of an infant that came to see us who struggled with a lot of colic, and mom wanted to enjoy her baby. And people would come to her and say, "Oh, mom, aren't you just enjoying these early months? Just soak it in. You're not going to have this time very long." And she looked at me and she goes, "Dr. Ty, I want to enjoy my baby, but he's crying around the clock. Most hours of the day, he's fussy and he's tense and he's crying." And I think to myself, when these parents are telling me enjoy infancy, I tell myself I can't enjoy it right now because he's crying all the time. What we saw in this baby's case is a ton of stress up top here. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see what's going on. You see this twist here, this big red bar on one side, everything else on the left. Lets us know this area was the most affected in this baby's case. And here's the thing. This was likely from the birth process because the birth process puts an incredible amount of stress on the head and the neck. So it's even in a normal natural birth, it's perfectly common. As a result, this baby's nervous system got stuck in stress mode and he couldn't calm down. Once we started adjusting, fortunately, a few weeks into care, and mom said, "All right, he's having really good days now." Early on, he started to feel more calm, more relaxed. And she said, "Dr. Ty, I can actually enjoy being with my son and being a new mama." So the thing we're always looking for then is what is happening early on, and can we help settle your child's nervous system to get it into state for growth and development? Because a calm and regulated nervous system aids in sleep, aids in digestion, aids in immune system. We had an almost 2-year-old just come to our office recently who, since early on, and once he got a little bit older, mom and dad said he would start banging his head. And they could tell something was off, but they didn't know what it was. And dad gave the example of he was in his high chair and his son got stressed about something. He would hit his head so hard the high chair would move. That's how much tension was in his body. We went back, of course, to the early on. And during labor and delivery, this little baby boy got stuck, and the OB, trying to get him out, multiple times had to use forceps and twist and pull. That wasn't working, so they added a suction to try to pull baby out. And mom's quote to me was, she was really cranking him around, trying to get him out. It was very close to an emergency C-section, and just at the end, finally, mom was able to push him free. So in that case, we said, why he's dealing with these issues is not because there's something genetically wrong with him. It's not because of the germs around that he's getting chronic ear infections and had to have tubes. It's because something stressed his nervous system early on. So that's what we love, helping you as a parent better understand your child, why they're struggling, in this case, why they're colicky, why they're not calm and relaxed and snuggling into you as they should be. And when you start to understand why your child's struggling, then you can know what to do to help. So our neurologically based adjustments are very safe, very gentle. I started working on my son as soon as he was born. He was still in the birth tub when he got his first adjustment. And it took a bit to get him going, but now he's almost 5 years old and he's doing very well. He has a nice regulated nervous system. He poops well, he eats well, he sleeps well. And I am so thankful that I had the opportunity to work with him early on, just like we've been able to do with so many families in our office. So if that resonates, if you're curious to see what your child's scans look like, please reach out. We would love to take a look and see what we can do to help.